under the graph of f over 1 comma 5, and we have two options. Same thing over negative 2 to 3, and we have two options, and negative 6 to 4, and we have two options. Okay, and then we'll look at something else if we have time. Hopefully we do. So let's choose from 1 to 6 first. Very important type of problem, because it basically shows the properties. We are going to apply the properties of the integral, of the definite integral. Yes, I'm ready.
How about number 6?
Number 6, perfect. Number 6, we have f of x, and this is negative x squared minus 6x plus 8, and 2x minus 1. And the first one is when x is less than 1, the other one greater than or equal to 1. They give an interval negative 6 to 4. Perfect, awesome. Okay. So notice what happens here. The interval negative 6 to 4, negative 6 to 4 is this. 1 is somewhere here. I don't care for units. I'm just explaining what is going on. See, to the left of 1, I have this function. Negative x squared minus 6x plus 8. But to the right of 1, I have a different function, which is 2x minus 1. How do I find the integral from negative 6 to 4 from f of x dx? When I have between negative 6 and 1, I have a function, and between 1 and 4, I have a different function. How do I do this? And the short answer, before you say anything, is one of the properties. Negative 6 to 4. Of course, the numbers are, you know what I mean, negative 6 to 4, and here's 1. Any suggestions on how to determine this area under the graph? It's okay if you're wrong, just say something, please. What do you think?
The definite interval from negative 6 to 1. Negative x squared minus x plus 8.
Excellent. Dx plus
The definite interval from 1 to 4. 2x minus 1 dx.
excellent. Now let's think for a moment, see if you have any questions. Thank you, Sammy. Any questions on this? Is it clear? I have to break it into two pieces because between negative 6 and 1 is from this function, and between 1 and 4 is of this function. So basically, in order to calculate this integral, I have to calculate two different integrals. So let's do that. So we already know that negative x to the third over 3 prime is negative x squared. I know you already told me several times today that the x squared over 2 prime is x, plus 8x from negative 6 to 1, plus 2x squared over 2 minus x from 1 to 4. Is this okay before we move on? Any questions? Please, any questions? Any questions? Okay, so I would plug in 1. Negative 1/3. Here I simplify, and I get a 3 minus 3 minus 3 plus 8. Put parentheses minus. This is we need to be very careful here because there is a negative. So minus when I plug in negative 6. So negative 6 to the third over 3 minus 3 times negative 6 squared, which is 36, minus 48. So negative 1/3 minus 3 plus 8 minus outside minus negative 6 to the third over 3 minus 3 times 36 and minus 6 times 8 plus when I plug in 4, 16 minus 4 minus when I plug in 1 minus 1. I have to calculate all these steps. So let's see what we get. Awful, but it is what it is. So negative 1/3, and this is positive 5. And this negative with this negative will, because this is a negative to the third power, so this is negative with minus in front, will be positive. So 6 to the third divided by 3. Plus 3 times 36 minus 48. These two go away. 16 minus 4 is positive 12. Okay. Negative 1/3. 6 to the third divided by 3. So what is that? Where's my calculator? So 6 to the third, and then we divide by 3, and then plus 3 times 36, and then minus 48, and plus 12. Someone is lazy tonight. Okay. Did I enter everything correctly? Oh, look at that, that's 0. So 0 plus 5, so this is plus 5. So 15 minus 1, 14/3. Is it correct? I have no clue. I have no clue, but we will check right now, very easily. If not, I have to go back and find the error. So, we have math 9. The first integral, of course, that's x. And then plus math 9. Okay. And of course, that's dx. Good. So I go back. The first, what is my first step? Negative 6 to 1. Well, since I'm here, why not? 4 and 1. And this is 2x minus 1. Was it? Yeah. 2x minus 1. Very nice. Awesome. Brilliant. 2x minus 1. Okay, and then the other one was from negative 6 to 1. So that's 1, and that's negative 6. And that's, what was it? X squared, negative x squared. Minus 6x. And plus 8. Okay, I'm holding my breath. The answer has to be 14 divided by 3. And it's anything but. I'm just double checking that I entered everything correctly. And 2x minus 1, so I have to go back to the drawing board. Okay, no problem. So negative x to the third over 3 minus 6 x squared over 2 plus 8x. That's correct. Then 2x squared over 2 minus x. That's correct. Okay, the numbers now. Negative 1/3 minus 3 plus 8. That is correct. Minus negative 6 to the third 3. And there is a negative 3. And that is 36. That's correct. 6 times 8, 48. Okay, that's correct. Now, 16 minus 4, that's correct. 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, one more time. Negative 1/3 plus 5, that's correct. What did I do here? Okay, that's 1. So this was positive with minus, that's correct. That was positive, that's correct. Okay, and that was correct. Okay, back to the drawing board. Okay, so I'm checking now. Negative 1 divided by 3. And then plus 5. And then minus 6 to the 3rd divided by 3. And then plus 3 times 36. And then plus 48. And then plus 12. And if I don't get this 100.666, and I have to go back to the drawing board. Okay. So it's even changing it into a fraction, 302 over 3. Fine. So 302 over 3. Good. Any questions? A little sign in here messed me up completely. I distributed till I got tired of distributing. No excuse, of course. Good. Let's look at the time. Do I still have time to do anything? And just 2 minutes. I just want to explain something and I'll stop. So our next step for Wednesday is to find these areas. How do I find such an area? I will only just verbally say, no, we're gonna start here on Wednesday. So for example, this area. In order to find the shaded area, I have to find the integral and subtract from the function above, which is f of x, I have to subtract the function below. How do I determine this area? From the function above, I subtract the function below. So from g of x this time, I subtract the area, or the graph, or the function f of x. Now the question is between which points? Between their points of intersection. Here between 1 and 4. Here between -1 and +4. These problems give us the graph. These problems don't. They are telling us find the area by the graphs of the region bounded by the graphs, but we have to graph them ourselves. We have to find the points of intersection ourselves, and then looking at the graph, determine the area. So that's where we stopped. So I don't recommend anything else, but just try a little bit for the first set of questions like we just did right now, but leave the areas for next time because I need to explain, I need to show examples, and then we'll take it from there. So we do have one more section of this chapter, so we can start chapter 5. This section 4.5 is the most powerful one in the entire chapter 4. And then we move on to applications. 2 applications of integration. And then chapter 6. Chapter 6 is totally different. Totally different. It deals with functions with more than one variable. 2, 3, 4 variables. Thank you so much for your patience. I will see you on Wednesday. I will assign a little bit of homework from section 4.3. Not from 4.4 yet. Please stay if you have any questions. If not, thank you so much for coming tonight. Yes, of course. However, when others are present, I cannot talk about the grade. So let's wait for a moment to see if anyone else needs anything.
No, I just want to review for 4.2 some of the profit, cost,
have a question, you have a problem that you want to work on?
Sure.
Awesome. Let me change the camera. Yes, of course.
Okay, so let's do 30. The function is c prime of x equals negative 0.012x plus 6.50. And then it says for x greater than or equal to 300. And that's what's throwing me off. Or sorry, less than or equal to 300.
In other words, this function is not valid for 301, for 302, for 303. That's all it says. So x has to be a number between 0 and 300. This function is not valid for more than 300.
Alright, so then I would just have to find c of x
Yes.
from
So if it's asking you for the total cost, it's the integral from 0 to 300 from c prime of x dx.
okay, and then see that's the problem. Find the total cost of roasting 250 pounds of coffee.
Oh, okay.
The question is.
So 250 then.
Okay, hold on, just a second. I'm gonna write that.
Yes. So they can ask you anything between 0 and 300, but they cannot ask you to find the total cost for 400. That's all it means.
Alright, and then after I find what the cost function is, I just plug in,
You are finding,
they're asking for 200
yes,
and for x.
yes. So you have negative 0.0012 x squared over 2 plus 6.5x, and you plug in from 0 to 250 because this is polynomial, you don't have to plug in 0. So you have negative 0.0006 because I divided by 2 times 250 squared plus 6.5 times 250.
Okay, so then once I get that answer, that's what the total cost is.
Yes. So
Okay,
250
I'm just
squared
overthinking it.
plus 6.5 times 250. I got 1587.50. Assuming that I have all these numbers correctly here, that I wrote the function correctly. I don't know, you have to check. So I got 1587.50. So it was the original function negative 0.0012x plus 6.5. Am I correct here?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the total cost.